we'll be starting in 1 minute. And just to let you know, we are going to be recording this pre-bid meeting, and we'll be posting it on the website where the bid is located. Okay, well, we have a short period of time for this info session. We're scheduled for 30 minutes. So we'll start right now. This is the pre-bid info session for bid 58025 for board up services. I'm going to we'll do a short introduction, and then I'll go through a couple items, important items on the bid document, and then we can open it up to questions and answers. We will do our best to answer the questions in this info session. If it's a question that we would need to do some due diligence on, we will respond to the question in an answer form in the addendum that's to be posted on August 7th. So with that, I will introduce myself, and then we'll kind of go around the room with the city staff. My name is Scott Stange, and I am the Procurement Compliance Manager for the Department of City Development. And I'm going to turn it over to Celeste.
Hi, I'm Celeste Jantz. I am a purchasing agent with the Department of City Development.
And Cindy?
Hi, my name is Cindy Wright-Smith. I am the Property Management Supervisor for the Department of City Development.
Great, thank you. So the bid document that we're here today to discuss is the bid for board up services. Board up services is a contract in which the contractor works with Cindy and her team in the Department of City Development's real estate staff on tax foreclosed properties. The city of Milwaukee, if you own property in the city of Milwaukee and you fail to pay property taxes for a certain amount of time, the city may take title to your property. At such time, the city, now being the owner of that property, would have certain responsibilities like any other property owner in the city. And so one of the items, one of the services that we contract out with is for board ups of the vacant properties that we take in tax foreclosure. So the chronology of the events that lead up to the services under this contract would be that the city of Milwaukee, through the city attorney's office, would go to court and through a legal process, take title to a property. And then after that process is complete, they would provide, the city attorney's office would provide Cindy's staff and DCD Real Estate with a list of properties. Cindy's staff then goes out and does what's called the drive-by inspection, where they will split the list up to various people on the staff, and they will go and drive by the property, and based off of their observation of the property would determine if the property is considered vacant. And at such time, there would be a work order sent out to a board up contractor to go to that prescribed vacant property and board it up according to the way that Cindy instructs that contractor to do. In addition to the board ups after these drive-by inspections, it's important to note that board up services are 24/7. So in addition to providing board up services initially upon taking title to the property, there's always ongoing need of our department with the board up contractor to go back to properties for various reasons, whether or not there be a breach of a window or a breach of a door. We would be contacted either by a neighbor or an older person or the police department somehow, or we would be driving by and see it as well. And we would reach back out to a board up contractor to go out and do the services necessary to re-secure the property. So there's really two instances, let's put it that way, in which work orders would flow to the board up contractor. Again, once would be immediately after Cindy does the inspections of the new list of properties, and then also any other properties within the city's inventory that would need as needed updated securing of the property for various breaches. So that's a brief description of the services under that contract. The unit prices in the bid represent the various tasks that we would ask the board up contractor to perform. I'm not going to go through each one of those. Those are in the bid documents. You can look at those. There's descriptions and the specifications of what each unit price represents. And then there's a formula based off of the unit prices that contractors would eventually submit their base bid total sum. With that, I'm going to go through a couple pages here on the bid document, pointing out a few important items. First off, on page 1 of the bid, you'll see I've highlighted August 14th, 2024 at 11 a.m. That's the date and time that the bids are due. They are to be submitted via email only. We won't be doing in-person bid submittals anymore. So please note the email on the screen, dcdpurchasing@milwaukee.gov. That's where you would submit your bid. It has to be submitted no later than August 14th, 2024 at 11 a.m. If we get it at 11:01, it's too late and would not be considered. So on that note, I do want to strongly recommend that any contractor considering submitting a bid, please take into account there's a certain period of time. Anyone I'm sure that's done emailing for business or personal reasons, the moment that you send it is not necessarily the moment that it's received. And so it has to be received by the Department of City Development by no later than 11 a.m. So please take that into consideration when you are submitting your bid to allow for enough time for that bid to be transmitted to our email address. It has to be received no later than 11 a.m. The next date that I want to draw your attention to is the date and time for the deadline for questions. So time willing or time permitting, we will do some Q&A after this, after my presentation. If there are questions that we don't have time to get to, or the questions that you can think of after this meeting, feel free to email them to Celeste Jantz at this email address on your screen, cejantz@milwaukee.gov. The deadline for questions is August 5th, 2024 at 4:45 Central Time. The questions from either this Q&A session or questions that we receive via email will be put in an addendum and will be posted on the website that the bid is now posted on. And that'll be posted no later than August 7th. So again, real quick, dates to remember. Deadline for questions, August 5th. Addendum being posted on August 7th. And then bids due on August 14th. It's important to note that you should go back to the website, check for the addendum, and because there may be additional information in the addendum that may or may not affect how you submit a unit price in the bid. You would then be asked to print out the bid or print out the addendum, sign it, and submit it as part of your bid document. So it's important to go back to the website after August 7th and double check to see if there's an addendum so that you can review that information. All right, so then the next page I'm going to go to in the bid document is the bid submittal checklist. This is on page 3 of the bid document. This provides a list of forms that you will need to submit with your bid document. It's the invitation to bid form with their unit prices. It's the signature page, and it's the Form A, which is the SBE. So real quick, the invitation to bid form, it's titled Invitation to Bid Form. It'll have the name of your company. It'll have any subcontractors that you propose to use. And then the bid pricing response form is where you would submit your unit prices. Please be mindful of the formula that each unit price, you would need to multiply each unit price by the quantity to get your subtotal price. And then the base bid total sum would be the sum of all the subtotal unit prices. And then finally, the signature page, also entitled signature page. This is where you would print and submit this form. You would sign it, and that would be the documents of your bid form. The next form that's required that was on the bid submittal checklist is the SBE Form A. So this bid includes a 25% SBE participation requirement, which essentially means that 25% of the total amount paid under this contract has to go to an SBE certified firm, SBE certified by the city of Milwaukee. And this is the form that you would submit indicating who your SBE firm would be to fulfill that requirement. If you are an SBE certified firm submitting as a prime contractor, then you would not be required to hire an SBE subcontractor. But if you are a prime submitting and you are not SBE certified, then you would need to subcontract out 25% of the work with a city certified SBE. So just real quick on this form, page 1 of the form is essentially filled out by you and signed by you as the prime. And then the form page 2 would be filled out by you with the information about the SBE subcontractor, and then the signature of the subcontractor would be on page 2. So again, just going back to the checklist, you would be required to submit the invitation to bid form with your unit prices and the base bid total sum, the signature page, and Form A, which is the SBE contract compliance plan. So with that, I was going to open it up to questions. But before doing so, I would invite my colleagues Celeste or Cindy if there was anything else you would like to add before we open up to Q&A.
I don't have anything to add. Thanks, Scott.
I did just want to add real quickly that in the beginning you stated that it was the interim properties, and we did the drive-bys, but we also, I just wanted to also add that we do a lot of open and closes because we sell properties here, and that should also be included in not just boarding up, but we also use our board of contractors to help open our properties up so that they can be viewed by brokers, especially our commercial properties. So we like to have our board of contractors go there so that they can make sure that the property is secure, that it has no breaches prior to any of our buyers that might want to go into the property before they go there. So just to add that in there, that we do utilize that as well.
Thank you, Cindy. So that would be part of the ongoing need of our board up contractor, in addition to going back to a property to resecure it for breaches. As Cindy had noted, we would ask that same board up contractor to open and close, the property to make it accessible, to, our brokers to help sell the property, and put it back in the private sector's hands. With that, I'm gonna open up the forum to any questions and answers. If you do have questions, I would just ask that you unmute yourself and answer or ask the question, and then we'll do our best to respond with an answer. If it's a question that we need to do a little bit more due diligence on, it'll have to be an answer that we provide in the addendum, which again is going to be posted on August 7th. So with that, I will open it up to questions.
Hi, Scott. This is Marquise Johnson from Keys Creations. I have a quick question.
Sure. Go ahead, Marquise.
Has there ever been, or would there be a conflict of interest if, let's say, I am a prime contractor and I get awarded the bid for the board up, and I'm also an SBE for another bidder?
Right. Oh, so that's a good question. You know, as a SBE contractor submitting as a prime, would it preclude you to also be considered as a sub under someone else's bid? And to that, I would say it would not preclude you. However, it's our expectation that a prime contractor is able to keep up with the work orders that we assign and the required start and completion times as outlined in the specifications. But then also the prime is also required to meet the 25% SBE participation. So if you are a prime and an SBE, we will be giving you work directly. And if you are also a sub or someone else's prime contract, that prime contractor would be relying on you to also be doing a certain amount of work. And we don't want contractors to get overextended to the point where now, now we don't have coverage from now two contractors because they're stretched too thin. So that's something for you, or not you in particular, but that's something to take into consideration as an SBE in this contract.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how's it going? Just Dan from Wilders Demo. Just wanted to know what type of material you guys prefer in the board ups.
So Dan, in the bid specifications, you'll see that there are certain specific type of boards that we're required to use by code, and we also reference some specific fasteners and whatnot that we would expect the contractor to have in stock as an in-stock item. It's also important to note, dovetailing on that question, that when you submit your unit prices, the unit price is to include the cost of the labor, equipment, and materials. So when you look at all the unit prices in the bid document, please keep that in mind when you formulate your unit price. But to your original question, the bid document specifies what specific materials are needed.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you all for coming today. I'll just conclude with, again, some dates. I mean, the important dates at this point to keep in mind, again, if there are some questions that come up to you after this meeting, feel free to submit them via email. The deadline to do that is August 5th at 4:45. We would then, by August 7th, post an addendum with all the questions and answers that we get. Make sure you go back to the website to check to see if there's an addendum, read through it and respond, act accordingly if it would affect how you would bid. And then also print the addendum, sign it and submit it, print the addendum, sign it and submit it with your bid. And then that bid due date again is August 14th at 11 a.m. Has to be received by us by 11 a.m. So I strongly encourage you not to wait till the last minute to hit the send button, because we have in the past had to reject bids because they're a few minutes late. So please be mindful of that as you are putting your bid document together and submitting it via email. So with that, this will conclude the pre-bid meeting for Board Up 58025. If you are interested, we'll be having a similar type of pre-bid meeting for cleanout in a few minutes. It's a different link. So if you're intending to go to that pre-bid meeting, please be mindful it's a different link, a different meeting, and we will see you over there shortly. So with that, thank you all for attending, and we encourage you all to submit bids. Thank you.
Thank you.